Welcome. This video is to help explain how your discrete mathematics homeworks should be completed and how it will be graded and how it will be submitted. Okay, so you all have this homework guidelines sheet, and we'll be going through that. So first of all, homework should be done neatly, legibly, completely. They should have your first and last name on the top of the first page. They should have a list at the top of any classmates who you worked with. It should be submitted using Blackboard in the Dropbox before 11:59 p.m. on the day that it's due, and I'll show that to you on the tentative schedule. It should be submitted as a single PDF document, and it should be done in the order in which the problems were assigned, so the problems shouldn't be all around mixed up. Homework assignments should not be copied from a resource, online resource or solution manual, so I want to be very clear. Sometimes it's a temptation to copy answers. That would be a violation of academic integrity to submit someone else's answers as your own. It should also not be copied from a classmate. So you're allowed to work with your classmates, but you should be writing up the solution separately. The work should be your own. You're welcome to discuss these, but you're not welcome to copy them. Homework should be neat. They shouldn't have things scratched or scribbled out. They shouldn't be submitted as lots of different files. They should not be submitted as picture files, and they should not be disorganized. Okay, so let's walk through an example to see how this works. So I'm going to pull up our tentative schedule here. So let me find our tentative schedule real fast for this class. Okay, so here's what it looks like. So in this semester, it looks like we have our first homework assignment, real homework assignment is section 1.1, and it will be graded in class on Thursday, August 31st. If I scroll down here to the second page, this section 1.1 will be due the day before on August 30th, so that's Wednesday, right before class. So we're going to grade it in class on Thursday the 31st. So it's due the night before by 11:59 p.m. on the 30th. We're going to be grading our own homeworks in class. The way this will work is you will do this homework assignment on your own via paper. Then you will have to submit it on Blackboard by the due date. And then that next day, I will hand out answer keys and we'll grade it. So let's see an example of how this might look. So suppose that I give you a homework example that looks like this. Oh, no, that's your first practice one. I'll give you an example that looks like this. So this is a pretend example, 3 homeworks. List every element in the set, solve this following equation, and find some number that's a perfect square and a perfect cube. Okay, so that's your pretend homework assignment. So what you're going to do is you're going to write out your solutions to these on a piece of paper, and I'll show you what a solution might look like. Here's an example of a good homework assignment. So here I have my name written on the top. I have the people that I worked with. I have it written in order. 1, A, B, C, D, 2, A, B, and then on the next page, 3, here it is. Now, I'm not saying all these answers are correct, but this is one PDF file. It's 2 pages, but it's one PDF file, and they're written in order. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Blackboard. Here's our Blackboard page, and I'm going to go down here. All of my homework assignments will be visible in this Homework Assignments tab. So I can see all of these homework assignments anytime I want throughout the whole semester. And when I want to submit a homework assignment, I'll go down here to Homework Submissions, and I'll click on the link that I want. We have a practice one that we'll try, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'll click on the link that I want, and I'll upload the file. I'll create a submission. And that's it. That's how we do that. And I'll expect those uploads to be PDFs. Now, if we look at this example, I say it's a good one. And then what I'll do is the next day when we grade this in class, we'll grade it together. I'll hand out the answer key, and I'll be able to answer any of your questions as we grade it. Let me show you an example of what a good graded example might look like. So here's an example of that good one graded. Here, this person graded, they got it almost correct. So out of these first 4, they got 3 of them right, so they missed 1/4 of a point here. This one was worth 3. This one was worth 1 whole point, so they missed half of it. So they missed half a point there, and they got this one correct. So it looks like they missed 3/4 of a point out of the 3 points, so they got 2.25 out of 3. And big in red pen, circled to the top, is their score, 2.25 out of 3. Now what the person's going to do is they're going to submit this same file to the same Dropbox. So every person is going to submit twice to each Dropbox. So if I go back to this homework submissions, for instance, for homework 1, you'll submit before the deadline, before the August 30th at 11:59 p.m. deadline, and then after we grade it, you'll submit it again, the graded version. Okay, so how will this be graded? Students submit their homework initially before the deadline on the day that it's due, and again, all these due dates are listed very clearly on the tentative schedule. You can see them all waiting for you. There should be no ambiguity, and they're also listed on Blackboard. If you go to Blackboard, the due dates are listed right there. So you submit that. During the next scheduled in-person class, everyone will bring their homework assignments and they'll grade it themselves. Everybody should be responsible for bringing their own red pens. I, the instructor, will provide answer keys and guidance on how to grade those. So if anyone is unsure about the grading, they can ask me and I'll walk them through the grading. Students must clearly write their scores on the top of their assignment and circle it with red ink, just like I showed you in this example. Clearly write it and circle it in red ink. Students will then submit the graded version of their homework assignment on the same Blackboard Dropbox. So it's the second submission. This one we marked as late, but it's the graded submission. And they have to do this before midnight on the same day of in-class grading. So in our example where you're doing your first homework assignment, it was due on Wednesday before 11:59 p.m. We're going to grade it in class that next day, Thursday. That's the one we're going to grade, 1.1. Sometime on that Thursday, August 31st, you have to submit that graded version. So the expectation is that you're submitting it the same day that you grade it. I am going to check both the original assignment, the ungraded assignment, and the graded version to make sure that they were submitted on time, that the graded version matches the ungraded version, with the exception of the red marks that you've done in the grading, and the grading was done accurately. If there's any incorrect grading, then I'll be corrected. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that the original version matches the graded version, and I'll correct any grading mistakes. Students who miss their in-class grading period will have to schedule a time to come to my office hours. You won't lose points if you have to be absent from class, but you will have to attend my office hours in order to grade your homework assignments. Students are not allowed to keep the answer keys, so you'll have to come to my office hours to look at the answer keys. I do not allow students to take electronic copies, pictures of the answer keys. Those are something I keep with me. Late submissions of the original ungraded versions will not be accepted for a grade unless there's an extreme situation. So in general, I don't accept submissions after 11:59 p.m. Please don't wait to the last minute to submit these. I want you to get full credit for your work, so please submit these by the due date. Blackboard is very handy. Just mark something late or on time. So if it's submitted after 11:59 p.m., it'll be marked as late, and in general, I won't accept that. Late submissions of the graded version, so if you submit the original version but you forget to submit the graded version, will be accepted for a 2-point grade penalty. So I'll grade it, but it will be marked down just 2 points. So the goal is to submit those on time as well, the same day that you grade it. If you have to be absent for a class, you come into my office hours and you submit it that day, whatever day you come to my office hours to grade that. Okay, and then I have this last little thing, answer keys. Students will be provided with answer keys to the homework assignments when they attend their in-person classes. These answer keys are not to be kept by the students, and they must be returned by the end of each class. Pictures, duplicates, or copies are not allowed to be made of the answer keys, so I don't want electronic versions of these answer keys running around. So I've shown you a good example of a homework submission and a good way to grade it. Now let me show you a bad example. So suppose this is the example. So right here, these two. So right away you can see this bad example is submitted as two different PDFs. This person maybe didn't know how to combine the document and make one PDF. So let's see, their first file looks like that, and their second file looks like this. Okay, so this person wrote their name. You can see it's out of order. There's lots of stuff kind of torn off, and then this is their second submission right here. Looks like something copied directly out of Wolfram Alpha. So let's go through that. This would be an example of a bad example. And what went wrong here? Example one, the document was disorganized. The last name was missing. That's not okay. The problems are out of order. It goes 1, 2, 3, and then 2A is then kind of copied down here. It goes A, D, C for some reason. It's out of order. Things are kind of written up here. Content has been scribbled out. So I want this to be a neat version. I don't want it to look like your first draft. And this document has a big tear in it. Also, content was copied. This person just copied directly off of Wolfram Alpha, which is not something allowed. Okay, so I don't want work like that. I want the work to be a representation of your best work, and I want work to showcase what you've been able to do. So once again, how this homework will work is you will submit a PDF file in the homework submissions before the due date corresponding to the tentative schedule. So for this homework 1.1 by Wednesday, August 30th at 11:59 p.m. We'll grade it in class. For this one, it will be on that Thursday. That's the one we'll grade in class. And then that same Thursday, you'll submit to the same Dropbox a graded version. And that's how these will be graded. And then it'll be updated in your grade book. Now, almost all cell phones have the ability to take pictures and turn things into PDFs. But if that's not the way you want to do things, one thing you can do is you can get any sort of app to turn things and to merge files. One I have on my computer is called PDF SAM Basic, and if you go on that one, it will allow you to merge files, put them as a single PDF, so you can merge files. But most people just take pictures with their phones and create one PDF file. There are a lot. You can Google how to do that. Okay, your first practice problem for this. So if I go to Blackboard, you have a practice homework submission. So let's go and click on and figure out what that practice homework assignment is. This one, it should be free points. You're just practicing, get it done. And all you're meant to do on this one is write your name, full name, clearly on the top of a sheet of paper, and on a second picture, draw a picture of an octopus. That's all you have to do. And then I want you to convert this into a single PDF document with 2 different pages. You should not be submitting 2 separate files. And then I've got this little thing about, here's the link for PDF SAM, and your cell phones can do these. So do this, a 2-page document, and then practice submitting it in the homework submissions right here. And we'll see how you do. This will just be extra credit. There's no downside to doing this. So do this and practice submitting your homeworks. As the semester goes on, you'll get very good at doing this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.